Welcome to the 12th Report with Blessings Musugu, and these are the headlines. Nigeria, Turkiye signed deal to establish joint committee to drive $5 billion trade target. NLC directs unions to continue FCTA strike despite court order. The US President Trump promises de-escalation as pressure mounts after Alex Pretty's killing by ICE agents. We have our reporters stationed in different parts of the country and beyond. Sagir Ibrahim, Idong Joseph, Sumaya Abubakar and Aisha Saliu join us from Abuja, while Victor Mbadike and Igbalani Omoni join us from Lagos. Mono Balagogo is on standby in Lokoja, as will our senior international correspondent Afia Hagan, who will be joining in London. We've got the details in a moment. We begin the news in Ikeja, Lagos, where residents and civil society activists are holding a mass protest against demolitions and forced evictions across parts of Lagos State. Organizers of the protest say thousands of homes and businesses have either been demolished or are under threat, allegedly by the state government. And now to Obalende, one of Lagos' busiest transport corridor. The state government has approved a major renovation of the Obalende underbridge, a move officials say will improve traffic flow and enhance commuter safety. But for traders, drivers and daily road users, what will these transformations really mean? News Central's Igbalani Omoni is live at the Obalende underbridge to break down the plan and assess its likely impact. Ni, what are the key elements of this renovation plan?
Blessings, but if you can hear me, I'm currently live at Obalende here, and there's a whole lot of plan on renovation of this place. A few weeks ago, or maybe about a month ago, the cleaning and clearing of Obalende bus stops on the bridge started. Illegal shanties were removed, and of course, people who were trading in illicit drug or substances were also cleared away from here. But beyond that whole outlook, we woke up to the news, Lagosians woke up to the news of a transport hub that's going to be inaugurated here. This whole Obalende area is going to be totally taken over. While we understand that this is a full partnership program with a private major service provider in Nigeria, this is actually approved by the Lagos state government. And just as you can see behind me, all this place is going to be taken over. There are plans to construct a waste recycling plant, a mobile toilet, a mega station just behind me here, which means the people here, as you can see, all these public buses, yellow buses, will be affected. Now, this is not the first time conversations as least like these are started around Obalende. I remember back in when former governor of Lagos State, Fashola, was the one at the helm of affairs. He proposed the renovation of this park. However, words we are hearing on the ground is that some of these drivers, some of these people, some of these traders do not even know that the government is planning these things, except some very few union members, which we'll be speaking to in a moment, know about this renovation. And there are concerns that what happens to the lot of people who earn their living here? There's also conversation about maintenance. There's conversation about security features. Yes, part of the plan was that there are going to be security features such as CCTV. We know what happened with the current CCTV that was placed at the third mainland bridge. So it's a whole lot of conversation, but I would like to have one of the union members here with me to get more information, to know if there were prior notice, if they were given prior notice, or what exactly is the current situation. Good afternoon, sir, or good morning. Are we in the afternoon? All right. So let's start with your name, sir.
My name is Kehinde Bello.
All right. What's your position here? What park do you oversee?
I'm actually the secretary of the park, Agege unit.
All right. So let's talk about this. We woke up to information this morning that the government has approved a renovation of this park. Does your union know about it, and did they tell you what will be affected and what will be done?
It actually started from the time of Fashola. He saw us in need, so he now prepared a temporary park. Like they made us believe now it's a temporary park. So he actually made this place for us, took us all in. The problem here is we are actually the largest employer of labor. We found things by ourselves. So no one is paying us. So Fashola saw us in it and gave us this park. During Ambode's reign, he came around and told us he was going to renovate. So we actually trusted Ambode like that. But this regime now, I don't understand. They just came last week. The Commissioner for Environment just came. No more insight into anything. They came with tax force and everything. They wanted to eject us. So they now gave us a space at the back. We even went to check the space. There was nothing. It was not visible. So now we don't even know anything. We don't know anything. We don't know. They sent us something. As in, this is what the park is going to look like. Again, they sent us. But we are not sure of our stand anymore.
I understand that yesterday some of the chairmen and branch members came here thinking some of the government officials were going to come so they can have conversation with them. If they had met with them, what would have been the conversation? What would have been the request?
At least we would have asked them what they have for us. But now as it stands, we don't really know. When the last time they came, they wanted to eject us from here. Forcefully, task force and everything, last man and everything. So when the commissioner came, we now spoke to him and I was like, okay, let's see what we can do. So, but now we don't know our stand.
I also understand that before now, some of your team members, or let me say some of the union members and drivers, were occupying this BRT area around there, and you guys were moved from there to this place you are. I understand that even just behind me here, some of your transport workers were working here. All these places were taken from you and you were left with this location. Now that this is coming up again, what will happen to the rest of this driver? I understand we have over 300 drivers here, or more than that. How many drivers do we have working here? Again,
more than 700 on a daily basis. On all routes, more than 7. Like you said, rightly said, we were formerly here. But this is a good innovation, like what they did here beautifies this place, especially when they've given us another location, fine. But now we don't know our fates. I don't know how my drivers are going to be feeding. Do they want us back on the streets? If that's what they want, we'll go back on the streets. Yes, now, they will just, let them bring anybody, we'll go back on the streets. But what I don't know is this present government, I don't know what they are doing. We don't know our fate. We don't really know.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. You've heard it from one of the union members. They don't know their fate. And in fact, some don't even know this is going to happen. We spoke to some traders. They don't even know. And a lot of things are going to be affected. And just as I mentioned, just right on my side here, there's a BRT station there, which was occupied previously by drivers and commercial operators that was used for transport, and that place is now a BRT stand. Now, coming back to sustenance, which is one of the questions and conversation a lot of people are having. The BRT, the bus rapid transit that has been inaugurated across Lagos State, what currently is the modus operandi? How is it functioning? How is it being maintained? What is the fare like? Questions like, will there be integrations of the drivers? Will there be integrations of drivers that are currently in public institutions, public drivers? Will they be integrated into the new bus drivers? So a lot of conversations are there, and we're hoping to get more information as time goes on.
Valinde on the bridge cleanup, and definitely we will keep you posted as the development unfolds. And let's take you to Abuja, where the House of Representatives has reconvened for its second plenary sitting of the year 2026, following its Christmas and New Year recess, which began on 23rd of December 2025. The sitting comes a day after the House adjourned plenary on Tuesday, 27 January, having earlier reconvened to hold a valedictory session in honor of 2 serving senators and a former senator who recently passed away. And now for more on this, we go live to News Central's Idong Joseph, who is at the National Assembly currently. Idong, what key legislative priorities are the lawmakers expected to focus on as the plenary resumes?
Blessings, can you come again? I didn't get your question clearly.
So basically, I'm trying to find out, I mean, we understand that there's been a recess since the 23rd of December 2025. And now I'm just trying to find out what key priorities are these lawmakers going to focus on upon resumption of the plenary?
Okay. Okay, I think I got that. The session for today just commenced, I think, not up to 20 minutes ago. And key among what lawmakers are going to consider today is the 2026 budget proposal, which, of course, was presented to a joint session of the House in December 19th, 2025 by the President Muhammadu Buhari. And of course, you could recall that yesterday when the House resumed from its over a month recess, it outlined some priorities which they are going to focus on. And one of it is that it's going to consider the 2026 budget proposal and see that it's passed and become an act that should be implemented throughout the year. And so that is one, the major thing on the agenda for today. And of course, lawmakers have had over a month to have a thorough look at every item on the budget, and then we'll be able to make an input into this session. And so today's session, it's going to focus on that. Of course, yesterday again, another priority they mentioned was that the constitutional amendment, which we recall that in the last over 2 years, close to 3 years now, when the House was inaugurated, it started process of amending some sections of the Constitution, and that again is one of the priorities which they have set out to achieve this year, and that they are going to continue from where they left off at the end of the year, at the end of last year, and also the passage of the Electoral Act, which of course in 2027, just about a year from now, Nigeria is going to have a next general elections. And the House has passed its own part, and it's hoped that the Senate will also follow suit. And this will follow an encouragement from the House to lawmakers in the Senate to pass that. And I think those are the key priorities which the House has set. And of course, we know that as the year moves forward, the other things are going to pop up and which lawmakers are going to make consideration and react to them. Back to you, Blessings.
All right, John Joseph there, giving us an update on the resumption of the House of Reps plenary. Let's come back now to Lagos for a moment, where the residents and civil society activists, as we told you, are holding a mass protest against demolitions and forced evictions across part of Lagos State. Organizers of the protest say thousands of homes and businesses have either been demolished or are under threat, allegedly by the state government. And we have News Central's correspondent, Victor Mbadike, on ground. Victor, can you paint a picture for us? How large is this protest? What is the mood of the demonstrators on ground? What are they demanding?
All right, Blessings. It's been a touch-just journey from Ikeja Under Bridge, and we are still heading to the State Assembly, where, of course, behind me are the protesters who are agitating against the actions of government to demolish what they call their homes in different parts of Lagos, in Makoko, in Ajegunle, in Orinshoki, and several other parts, including businessmen as well, in places like Owode Oniri, that's the Square Motor Market, and they're all asking government if you are going to tell us to leave our places of abode, do you have alternatives for us? And they're asking the critical questions. And this, if you look at the mass numbers, these are, I really can't give you the number, but it's an entirely a huge number of persons heading towards the State House of Assembly. How affected are you with all
owó dé onírin ni èmi ò gbé yìnbọn wọ́n ti yìnbọn fún apá gbogbo ṣọ́ọ̀bù wa wọ́n wó gbogbo ṣọ́ọ̀bù wa tún pààyà wọ́n tún palẹ̀ lórí o ẹ̀rí lára tí wọ́n pa rèé o rèé o ẹ wo gbogbo ọmọ tí wọ́n pa àwọn tó ní jẹ́nẹ́rà ìjọba Sanwó-Olú ẹ wo ẹjọ́ ẹ̀bẹ̀ lábẹ́ gbà wọ́n o.
ọlọ́wọ́n lélẹ̀ yìí bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́kọ́lá pọ̀jù o wọ́n ti gba gbogbo ṣọ́ọ̀bù wọ́n ti fọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀dánù o ẹ bá dé kíjọba ṣàánú wa o kó síjú àánú wò wá kó rìlíìsì òkú àwọn ọmọlọ́mọ o kọ́kọ́ ká lọ sí wọn o ẹjọ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run ẹni kò fi wálẹ̀ o àtijọ́ àti mú wá ẹ bá àbẹ̀jọba o àtijọ́ àti mú wá kọ́ mọ̀ gbà lọ́wọ́ wa o àwọn náà lọ́kọ́lá pọ̀jù o. à ń sọ fún ìjọba ní pé kó ṣàánú wa o kó ṣíjú àánú wò wá lówó dé onírin o wọ́n ti pa gbogbo ọmọ wa o gbogbo àwọn ọjọ́ ọ̀la òbí lóbi náà ti pa tán o kàn ṣàánú wa o wọ́n ti gbogbo ṣọ́ọ̀bù wa o àárín kankan jẹ́ o.
gbogbo ṣọ́ọ̀bù wa náà ti wó o gbogbo àwọn ọmọ tẹ́lẹ̀ state bullets náà fi pa wọ́n o èmi fúnra mi kan náà ló yọ mí bó ṣe gbé bọ̀ sí mi lọ́rùn ni tí wọ́n pa èmi gan ọlọ́run ló yọ mí o ẹjọ́ ẹ bá wa bẹ̀ wọ́n o kó dá gbogbo ṣọ́ọ̀bù wa padà o àwọn obìnrin a lè ṣàṣẹ́wó o kó ṣàánú wa o.
Well, blessings. The numbers are too much. If you want to talk to as many people as possible, you will definitely get there. But I mean, the critical question they're asking is, even if we have to leave these places where we've been surviving for so many years, places where we found our abode, places where our children, our women, our fathers sleep, and some of them even do business in some of these locations in Lagos, and you're coming to demolish these places without giving us an alternative, then there's going to be a huge problem. You saw what happened last week when we found some persons sleeping on boats. Those people evicted from Makoko slum. And they're also part of this protest, asking government the critical questions. If you want us to leave, where do you want us to go to? As a matter of fact, they're all heading to the State Assembly to see if they can get recourse, if they can get solutions to some of these problems. We did ask some of them if government have had any meeting with them in terms of, compensation and all of that. And they clearly said that they've never had any such meetings with any members of government or any official from the state government. What they had or what happened was many of them came at the dead of the night when they were all sleeping and brought down their homes, brought down their shops and businesses. And today they want to ensure that all of these issues are solved once and for all. So they're all drawn from different parts of Lagos, whether from the island or from the mainland, Oworin-Shoki, Bariga, Ajegunle, Owodo, Niri, Spear Market, and several other places where they've had such infractions in time past and on recent. And they're all asking government to, I think we should do something. We've kept quiet for so long. Some of them have even lost, family members or colleagues in these places where there was some kind of face-off with the police officers or security agents who had come to these places, to ensure these places were demolished and all of that. So they are saying that we've had some of our persons killed, and the government has said nothing about it, and they do not want this to continue. And that is why we're having this mass protest. You can see them, hundreds of them in their numbers today. But the implication of that in Ikeja today is that there's been a very heavy traffic on Ikeja because it blocked the entire road, and they've refused to leave. So for people who are coming to Ikeja, you have to be careful. This is not the best time to drive, all right, because the entire place is all on lockdown. So we'll keep on heading out to the State Assembly to continue our coverage, guys.
Victor Mbadike there on the anti-demolition protest that is currently underway in Ikeja, where the residents, especially of the Makoko area, are asking that, number one, the bodies of those who were even killed during the demolition be released, and of course, the shops that were locked be open for the older women. We could hear them saying that they do not want to be night workers, they want to work and earn their money. But then Victor Mbadike is still on standby and will keep us up to speed. You're still live with us on the 12 Report. We go on a short break. When we come back, we've got more stories. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Now let's go to Abuja, where the Nigeria Labour Congress has directed its affiliate unions in the Federal Capital Territory to sustain the ongoing strike by FCTA administration workers, despite a court ruling ordering its suspension. The directive, contained in a circular dated January 27, 2026, insists that the industrial action should continue until all workers' demands are fully addressed. Outstanding issues include unpaid salaries, promotion arrears, non-remittance of pension and National Housing Fund contributions, as well as allegations of worker intimidation. The NLC described these grievances as grave violations of fairness and workers' rights. The Congress warned that withdrawing from the action at this stage could embolden further infringements on workers' rights. And right now, News Central's Aisha Saliu joins us from Abuja, where she's monitoring the situation for updates. Aisha, what have you found and whom have you spoken with regarding the development?
Well, blessings, all morning we have been going around the Federal Capital Territory, especially the Municipal Area Council, and we have visited several primary, secondary, junior secondary and senior secondary schools, and we have noticed that these schools have remained largely shut. For some of the schools that even opened, they only opened for just one reason, which is for students to come in and prepare for their inter-house sport activities. Whilst we have tried to speak with, principals and students on cameras, but they refuse. But they have told us that schools, the learning activities, academic activities are yet to commence. They are not obeying the court order yet, because they also heard that the NLC said they should maintain status quo. So even as we heard from some of the officials at the FCTA, they maintain that it's more like, yes, the doors can open, but then no activities are going on at all. We have visited schools. I'm currently in front of another school at the moment. There is no form of academic activity going on. It seems as if the strike is still ongoing. This industrial action is still ongoing, where teachers have lamented that their wage arrears are yet to be paid. Some of them wrote promotion exams as at last year, and till now those the effect of those exams, promotions are yet to be implemented, amongst other welfare issues that they have raised this morning. Well, we're still going around the FCT to it, but for now we know that there is still compliance level to the strike. Most of the schools are yet to open and begin operation.
All right, Aisha Saliu there on the update on the NLC insisting that the unions continue the FCTA strike despite the court order. We'll keep you posted as that unfolds. Now, Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization, or Ohanaeze Ndigbo, has thrown its weight behind Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo following the one-week closure of the Onitsha main market. The group says the prolonged and unconstitutional Monday sit-at-home order has devastated the southeast economy and led to avoidable loss of lives over the past 5 years. Ohanaeze alleges that credible intelligence points to a clandestine cabal within market leadership structures, allegedly colluding with violent enforcers of the sit-at-home directive. It says such actions undermine governance directives and threaten economic stability in the region. Ohanaeze also called for a dialogue with market leaders, warning that failure to comply with lawful directives could attract decisive government actions. Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborori has ordered security agencies, particularly the police, to arrest and prosecute anyone found in possession of firearms or attempting to breach the peace ahead of the 2027 general elections. The directive was issued while receiving the newly redeployed State Commissioner of Police, Aino Adeshola, and his management team during a courtesy visit to Government House, Asaba. News Central's correspondent Austin Azu reports.
Aina Adeshola assumes duty as the 23rd Commissioner of Police, Delta State Police Command, on January 5th, 2026.
The mandate given to me by the Inspector General of Police is clear: to strengthen security in the state, to reduce crime to its barest minimum, and ensure that people of Delta State live in safety and peace.
Since resumption, the CP has embarked on working visits to various commands and stakeholders across the state. The CP and his management team are in Government House on a courtesy visit to Governor Sheriff Oborori.
And to also solicit your bigger support for my own time, which I'm very, very sure that you have even started with me already. And to always tell you that, sir, by the special grace of Almighty God, the Deltans will surely sleep with their two eyes closed. There shall be serious peace and uncommon peace in Delta State by the special grace of God, in my tenure.
In his remarks, Governor Oborori attributed relative peace in the state to the collaboration between the police and other security agencies and tasked the CP with enduring safety ahead of the 2027 general elections.
Now that election is getting close, I want to appeal to Commissioner of Police. Anybody found wanting any individual in Delta states seen having possession of firearm, the person should be arrested and prosecuted. As a state, we will not allow that. Anybody who brings thugs to come and cause problem and disrupt operations or cause insecurity and peace in Delta State, it will not be accepted.
Residents have been urged to support the CP and other security agencies by providing timely and useful information, as security is a shared responsibility. In Delta for News Central, Austin, Azu.
President Bola Tinubu has transmitted a fresh set of reform bills to the Senate, targeting Nigeria's justice system and health sector in a sweeping legislative push. The president is seeking approval to expand the number of judges across key courts to ease mounting case backlogs, proposing an increase in Court of Appeal justices from 70 to 110 and Federal High Court judges from 70 to 90. The Senate also received a request to confirm a Supreme Court nominee and a bill to establish an alternative dispute resolution center within the appellate system. Similarly, Tinubu forwarded 24 health sector bills aimed at streamlining governance by cutting bloated boards in health institutions, including teaching hospitals and regulatory agencies. All proposals have been referred to the Senate Committee on Rules and Business for legislative consideration. And now News Central's correspondent Sagir Ibrahim joins us live from the National Assembly for more on this. Sagir Ibrahim, a trove of requests from the presidency are pending before the lawmakers. What updates have you got?
So far, the bills have been transmitted, executive bills, 3 of them, to the National Assembly, of course, first day of resumption from recess. These bills were taken and they were, of course, transmitted to the relevant committees with the expectation that legislative work would commence on them. That's so far the update on those bills. You'd recall that yesterday plenary had to adjourn way earlier than necessary, of course, following the death of one of their colleagues, Godia Akwashiki from Nasarawa State. So a minute of silence was held in honor of the lawmaker, and of course plenary activities is expected to commence in earnest and of course in full throttle today. Expectations we found on the order paper that the senators will of course be deliberating upon a report from the Committee on Electoral Matters, particularly with regards to the Electoral Amendment Act, and that is expected to happen today. Of course, further deliberation is expected on that, and when that happens, we'll be bringing much more details on these deliberations. Back to you, Blessings.
All right, Sagir Ibrahim there on the Senate's resumption, and like he said, we'll be bringing more details. Still in Abuja, as the February 21 local government election approaches in the Federal Capital Territory, residents of Kabusa community say their expectations are rooted in everyday survival. From access to basic amenities to improved local services, many residents see this election as another opportunity to have their voices heard at the grassroots. Now, News Central's Sumaya Abubakar is live in Kabusa community, speaking with the residents. Sumaya, what are the residents saying that are their top priorities as this election approaches?
Good afternoon, Blessings. Yes, I am currently in Kabusa. Now we have to establish that beside me here is the Emir Palace, so we're in front of the Emir Palace. We have, of course, people here that will talk to us about what Kabusa people are facing and what they are going through, and tell us the meaning. No, Mister, please come and talk to us right now. About currently what Kabusa people are going through. So I have to establish that Kabusa is around Apple, so you have to follow through Apple Mechanic to this community here. Please tell us your name.
Yeah, I remain Prince Emmanuel, Kabusa, precisely.
All right, Prince Emmanuel, as someone who is, a resident of this place, what would you say your major demands are in terms of, living a day, having a good life?
Yeah, as Kabusa, light is our problem. Light is not constant. Sometimes we have some challenge. Water, we don't have water. Government does not provide water for us. And we are trying to see how things will move ahead. The government itself should come to our aid. When elections comes, we need full security because problems we don't want. We want to do fair and good election so that we'll see election comes very okay.
Indeed, appreciate you talking to us. Now we have an elder here. Please help us get him quickly. So this is someone who has been in Kabusa community and would like to hear from him about their major concern. Now, thank you so much, Mr. Sunday. He is a title elder in Kabusa community. Mr. Sunday, now quickly tell us what is the major concern of Kabusa people.
The major concern of Kabusa people, water and tertiary institutions and other amenities that government can be able to do for us. We will be very much grateful. This is our major problem, this water problem and this tertiary institution. Yes.
Okay, well spoken, sir. Appreciate you, Mr. Sunday. Now, Blessings, I have to say that they are concerned that because of lack of, education, it's affecting the youth and, development, and that tend to put the youth in depression and all of that. And water is a major concern for them here. They said since Kabusa has been in existence, they've never had, a proper water, clean, potable water. So, yes, that's the concern of Kabusa people. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Mayor, for that. That is the concern amongst many other of the people in the Kabusa community ahead of the elections in the region, and we're looking to see how that turns out. Now, in Kabawa community, Kogi State, the tombs of some deposed northern emirs stand as silent witnesses to centuries of history, yet they remain largely neglected. Historians and tourism experts say these sites hold immense cultural value and can attract visitors if preserved. We now go live to our Kogi State correspondent, Mono Balagugu, who is at the heart of this historic site. Mono, can you give us a brief history of these deposed emirs and why exactly their tombs are important to Kabawa and the wider northern region? Mono, if you can hear me, can you give us a brief history of these deposed emirs? Why exactly are their tombs as important to the Kabawa people and the wider northern region?
Afternoon, Blessings. We're live at Kabawa community, and just behind me is the tomb sites. If I could just pan my camera a bit so you can actually see. There's a tomb site of the late Emir of Zaria, Malam Muhammadu Lawal Kwasu, who died in the year 1927. So where I am in Kabawa community, there are about 6 of these deposed emirs of the north who refused the invasion, of their communities by the Lord Lugard administration. So they were brought away from the north to Lokoja, Kogi State, and they were stripped of their power. So they basically had to come down with their families to settle. So we're talking almost a century, that's over 100 years ago. So just beside this particular tomb site is another one. It's facing each other. You can see the resting tomb, if I could pan my camera just a bit, of the deposed late Emir of Gwandu, Mala Muhammadu Aliyu. And it is just quite a sight, if you ask me. We're living amongst communities. Some of the tomb sites, the Emir of Bida. His tomb site is just away. What you're actually seeing on your screen is the emir, I think, of Kano State. It's not well kept. When we visited that particular place days ago, there were feces all over, bushes all over. There is even an Islamic school that we heard was constructed by Emir Sanusi. It's all covered up. So the residents here are calling on government to rehabilitate some of these historic colonial sites so that they can actually contribute in terms of tourism to bring people here. But Blessing, let me not do all the talking alone. So we have one of the person's residents staying here. Please, if you could just come into the shot just a bit. Can you tell us your name? What's your name?
My name is Farouk Umar Farouk Bakabi, here in Lokoja, Kabawa, to be precise.
All right. So can you just talk to us about how these late emirs of the North came here? And can you just tell us, in terms of the tourism potential now, we heard that there's so many people who come here from time to time to visit the site. And this particular structure here was actually renovated by some of the families of the later emirs. What can you tell us?
Well, of course, they do come here from time to time. They will come and ask us some questions, ask the community leaders some questions about the deposed personalities here. Well, we are also happy that they were here because it's an added advantage to all the community and like a historical place. But unfortunately, like the particular one at the upper side, that is that of Kano Emir. One time, the present Emir of Kano, the Sanusi, Muhammad Sanusi, he came and he renovated those places, and what he will convert that place to Islam.
All right, well, that was News Central's Mono Balagbubu giving us an update on the deposed tomb, the tomb of the deposed emirs in Kogi State. Away from that, British prosecutors have told a London court that Nigeria's former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Desiani Alison Madueke, received luxury properties and expensive items as bribes from oil industry figures. The allegations were presented on Tuesday at the Southwark Crown Court during the ongoing trial involving Alison Madueke, oil executive Olatimbo Ayinde, and her brother Doye Agama, all of whom have pleaded not guilty to 5 counts relating to bribery. Now, prosecutors said the former minister benefited from high-end residences and luxury goods in the United Kingdom, allegedly provided by individuals seeking favorable treatment in Nigeria's oil sector. The court heard that a Nigerian businessman, named but not standing trial, financed lavish purchases, accommodation, and property-related expenses linked to Alison Madueke. You're still live with us on the news. When we come back from a short break, we have more stories. Don't go anywhere. Still live with us on the 12th report, and now the presidency on Tuesday explained that President Bola Tinubu's brief stumble during a ceremonial reception in Ankara, Turkey, was caused by a poorly laid carpet at the venue. The incident happened as Tinubu joined Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan in a march past at the presidential complex shortly after his arrival for an official state visit. Video clips shared online showed the president momentarily losing balance while working beside his host before regaining composure with assistance. And our global affairs analyst, Colin Tunweke, joins us from Brussels in Belgium for more on this story. Collins, it's great to have you join us. Now, with Nigeria already Turkey's largest trading partner in sub-Saharan Africa, what concrete economic gains are being realistically eyed from these new agreements that target $5 billion in joint trade?
Well, thank you for having me. Turkey is strategically important to Nigeria, mainly because it sits at the intersection of Europe, Asia, and the Middle East, making it actually a natural bridge market for Nigerian goods and services. So this visit signals that Nigeria is deliberately diversifying its economic partnerships, beyond the traditional Western corridors, the EU, Brazil, and the rest of them, towards pragmatic production-oriented, partners. More importantly, it reflects a pivot from symbolic diplomacy to transactional economic diplomacy. Turkey has demonstrated capacity in light manufacturing, construction, defense production, and agro processing. And this, incidentally, are sectors Nigeria urgently needs industrialization. They need them for industrialization project of Nigeria. So the message is very clear. From the Nigerian side, Nigeria is aligning with partners who can co-produce, co-invest, and transfer technology, not just trade, finished goods. So yeah, this is a significant importance to Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much, Colin Tunweke, for sharing your thoughts on that. Unfortunately, I would have loved to ask more questions, but we're pressed for time. But thank you for joining us on the news.
A pleasure. Thank you for having me.
An absolute pleasure. Now, the federal government of Nigeria has recorded full subscription for its 501 billion naira inaugural power sector bond under the Presidential Power Sector Debt Reduction Program, signaling strong investor confidence in ongoing electricity market reforms. The Series 1 issuance conducted by NBET Finance Company PLC raised 300 billion naira from the capital market and allotted 201 billion naira to participating power generation companies, attracting pension funds, banks, asset managers, and the likes. A new report by the DOHS Cares Foundation's Femicide report has revealed that at least 197 women and girls were killed in Nigeria in 2025 in cases linked to gender-related violence. Beyond these numbers, this story is about lives that were cut short in spaces that should have been safe: homes, relationships, communities. These were not random acts, neither were they random numbers. These were often preceded by threats, by abuse, and warning signs that were ignored or dismissed. There's no doubt that 1 in every 3 ladies in Nigeria has gone through one kind of violence, no matter how subtle. Now, what does this say about Nigeria? It says that gender-based violence remains deeply rooted, not just in individual actions now, but in systems that fail to respond in time, systems that look away when they see something wrong. It says that too many women live with fear, knowing that reporting abuse may not guarantee protection, in fact, may expose them more. It says silence, stigma, and normalization of violence still carry deadly consequences. What does this say about governance? Laws exist, but enforcement is inconsistent. Support structures like shelter, counseling, emergency response are limited. Now, many cases drag through the justice system or never even make it there at all. Just recently, we were rejoicing over a reopened case, but I don't think anybody hears anything about it anymore. When accountability feels distant, violence thrives. And what does this say about the society? That too often, abuse is treated as a private matter until it becomes a public tragedy. That we react loudly after deaths, but quietly before them. And long after them, we don't hear anything anymore. And this is not just a women's issue, it's a national problem. If nearly 200 women can be lost in a single year, then the real measure of progress is not how loudly we condemn the violence, but how effectively we stop the next one before it happens. And that is your postscript. Now, before we go, let's take a look at what's happening in the sporting world. FIFA appears to have stepped aside from one of African football's biggest decisions, leaving CAF to deliver the verdict. And we have Onyechi Obaru, who's on standby to give us more. Onyechi, are you ready for us?
At the AFCON, stays at the AFCON, and the Confederation of African Football should make their decision on the AFCON final saga. They have now said 48 hours for them to release their verdict concerning what happened between Morocco and Senegal. We'll bring you more up to speed with that on In the Game at 1 p.m.
All right, well, you've heard it. Stay tuned on In the Games. And that's all on the 12 report today. Do also send your IONS report to the WhatsApp number on the screen because we want to see what you see. Follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times 274, Avo TV, and of course live on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Blessings Musugu.